Welcome. You've joined us for a really fascinating exploration today.
We have indeed.
You've brought session 50 from the Law of One material to our attention, and, well, for this deep dive, our goal is to unpack it,
Hmm.
question by question, aiming for a beautiful, insightful, engaging, and really positive understanding.
Absolutely. We're diving into polarity, the nature of
Mhm.
experience, those, pre-incarnation agreements.
And the work of adepts.
Exactly. Powerful stuff. Prepare for some real aha moments, I think. This material is incredibly rich.
It really is. And this session, it's from May 6, 1981.
That's the one. Rabbi offering these deep perspectives on consciousness, spiritual evolution. It's quite something.
Okay, let's dive right in. Question 50.1 is just checking on the instrument's condition.
Yeah, standard check-in.
And Raz's answer is simply, it is as previously stated.
Right. It's like, okay, the channel's stable, we can proceed. It sets the stage, really, acknowledging the person involved.
Essential context. Okay, then 50.2. This one got me thinking. It revisits the idea of experiences being attracted through the South Pole.
Ah, yes, the attractive pole. Ra confirms that saying the south, or negative pole, attracts experiences into the mind-body-spirit
It
complex.
draws things in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they do say it's a simplistic statement.
Which usually means there's more complexity coming.
Precisely. And it arrives with the clarification about the red ray center, the root chakra.
Okay, break that down for us. How does the root fit in?
Well, Ra explains that while the South Pole is a general attractor, the Red Ray Center has the first opportunity to react.
The first crack at it, so to speak.
Yeah, you could put it that way. It's the initial point of contact, the entry gate for experience into our awareness in a physical sense.
Like the first filter, tied to survival.
Exactly. Its primary function is survival. And Ra stresses how balancing the center is just crucial for any seeker.
Because if it's unbalanced, it colors everything.
Right, it can kind of block or distort the experiential data. But once it is balanced,
Then what happens?
it stops being that bottleneck. It lets go of that tight survival focus, allowing the higher energy centers, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, to properly engage with what's been drawn in.
So the energy flows up more freely.
That's it. Understanding this initial processing is, really key for anyone wanting to get the most out of their experiences.
Makes perfect sense, clearing the static first.
Yeah.
Okay, question 50.3 is straightforward. Why use the term attracted?
And Ra's answer is also quite direct, isn't it?
It is, due to our understanding that this is the nature of the phenomenon.
Of experiential catalyst and its entry into the mind-body-spirit complex's awareness. Basically, it's inherent. That's just how it works from their perspective.
It's how those growth opportunities, the catalysts, find their way to us.
Yeah.
A core idea.
Absolutely fundamental in the Law of One.
In 50.4 and 50.5, ask for an example. How does an entity set up attracting a catalyst? And Rob pauses here.
Which always feels significant. They pause to scan the instrument's mind, asking permission to use her own pre-incarnation choices.
That shows incredible respect, doesn't it?
It really does. Ethical consideration right there.
And the example itself is the instrument's own choices. What were the key parts?
Ra explains she chose a path likely to generate specific lessons. Her core desire was expressing love and light without expecting return.
Unconditional giving.
Yes. And she also programmed for spiritual work opportunities with companionship. These were deliberate intentions.
So we're kind of co-designing our lives before we even get here. What about the specific agreements?
Agreements with parents, siblings, designed to provide catalysts for that giving without expectation lesson.
Tough lessons.
Can be. And then agreements with other entities for comradeship and opportunities in spiritual work. A very intentional setup.
Like a soul blueprint. Then Ra adds another layer, the cultural context.
Exactly. The possibility-probability vortices of the society she chose. Standard of living, laws, social climate, even the timing relative to harvest.
And these broad factors apply to many people, not just her.
That's a crucial point. Ra says millions aware of evolution and desiring love share these general conditions.
So we share the stage, even if our specific roles differ.
Right. And the core lesson, Ra emphasizes, always involves other selves. It's about giving, expressing love outwards, whether on the positive or negative path. Relationships are the classroom.
Always comes back to connection. What about those less aware of this evolutionary process?
Their lessons might seem more random, less patterned, but Ra assures they still have unseen guardians, ensuring they stay on a path towards unity, even if unconsciously.
There's always support. Okay, 50.6 tackles a tricky one. Negative polarization, sharing love of self. How does that work without reducing negativity?
It's definitely counterintuitive at first glance. Ra avoids specific examples but explains the negative being finds power and meaning in the self, unlike the positive focus on others.
So love of self here means something different.
Completely different. It's about amplifying the self. They share this understanding by creating elites, disciples.
Hierarchies.
Yes, teaching the need and lightness of controlling or enslaving others, often framed as being for their own good.
A distortion of guidance.
Exactly. The core belief is others are dependent and need the self's wisdom or control. It's love inverted, focused inward on power over others.
A challenging concept. Okay, 50.7 asks why incarnation with the veil of forgetting is needed for polarization. Why not do it between lives with full memory?
Ah, the poker game analogy. It's brilliant.
It really is. If you see everyone's cards,
There's no risk, no real interest. The game loses its purpose.
and that applies to higher densities too.
Yes. In time space, or green density, Russ's, the hand's thoughts, feelings are open. Harmony is easy, but there's less catalyst for strong polarization because there's less unknown, less challenge.
So the uncertainty, the not knowing, is vital.
Absolutely. Ra expands the poker metaphor to a lifetime. The cards are love, dislike, limits, joys, dealt constantly.
And we only slowly figure out our own hands.
Right. And we only see glimpses of others' hands, what's in their eyes, their actions. We don't know their full inner state.
This is where the forgetting comes in.
Crucial. Ra says the way to win is to lose your cards in the melting influence of love. Offer vulnerability, accept, forgive, love others regardless of their hand. And this profound learning self-knowledge, acceptance, balance, opening to love, needs the forgetting to have true weight.
Otherwise, it's just intellectual.
Exactly. The forgetting makes the choice real, the growth genuine. It explains so much about life's challenges.
The real aha moment there. Now, 50.8 shifts to adepts and visual imagery for polarization without external action. Advanced stuff.
Very advanced. Ross says the adept is beyond just green ray harvestability. They're engaging intelligent energy and infinity to actively transmute planetary consciousness.
Wow. And the keys to that.
Two things. Deep inner silence and absolute singleness of thought. Holding a visualization steady for even a few minutes shows that developing focus.
And how do positive versus negative adepts use this?
Positive adepts use it in group rituals, raising positive energy for the planet.
Uplifting.
Yes, negative adepts use the same focus to increase personal power, often intending to control. Same tool, different polarity.
Fascinating. Okay, 50.9 digs deeper. How does this focused visualization affect planetary consciousness?
It's about connection. When a positive adept touches intelligent infinity from within.
Microcosm meets macrocosm.
Precisely. That allows green ray true color in time-space to manifest in your time-space, where thoughts are more like beings.
So they bridge realities, essentially.
They become living channels for love and light, directly feeding that radiance into the planetary energy grid.
And they always ground the energy afterwards.
Yes, with praise, thanksgiving, releasing it for the whole, it highlights that deep interconnectedness.
Okay, 50.0, a bit of a curveball about metal bending, meditation, and pyramid wires.
Yeah, and Ra's answer is just no.
Very direct.
Followed by, please ask one more full query. It's a clear signal that line of questioning wasn't productive for that moment.
Right. So 50.11 tries to link energy fields, brain hemispheres, and pyramids again. The questioner sounds a bit lost.
And Ra mirrors that. We are similarly at a loss, but they do concede the pyramid shape can focus incoming energies for aware entities.
But not the brain's physical shape.
No, that's not significant for concentrating these energies, according to Ra. They ask her a more specific question again. Clarity is key.
Definitely. Okay, 50.12 gets back to personal experience. Energy sensations on the head during meditation. What do they mean?
First, Ra advises, forgetting the pyramid will be of aid.
Drop that association for now.
Right. Then they explain these sensations are felt by energy centers that need and are ready for activation. It's resonance.
So the location matters.
Yeah.
Violet ray at the crown, indigo between the brows.
Exactly. That's the principle. Tingling or images might mean a temporary blockage, the energy diffusing a bit.
Interesting. And even people not actively seeking it might feel it sometimes.
If their psychic defenses are low, yes.
Oh.
But those resistant to change likely won't feel anything due to their own energetic blocks. Useful context for meditators.
Very much so. Then 50.13, the questioner notes feeling two sensations at once. Normal.
Ra says for an adept, simultaneous indigo stimulation that's healing, vision, radiance, and violet stimulation connection with creator is most normal.
And desirable even.
A desirable configuration, yes. suggests a good alignment. Then they ask for one brief final query.
Which brings us to 50.14, how to improve the instrument's comfort and the contact.
Ray acknowledges the group's care and alignments, then gives a very practical tip.
Just about the neck support.
Yes, ensure the neck is carefully placed. A small physical detail crucial for the energy flow and the clarity of the contact.
It highlights the integration of physical and non-physical,
Mm-hmm.
and Ray's closing.
Always beautiful, leaving in love and light, rejoicing in power and peace. Adonai.
A powerful session. Reflecting back, we covered so much the attracting nature of experience, the purpose of pre-life plans.
The necessity of forgetting for real growth through love, and that incredible inner work adepts do.
It really gives you tools to look at your own life differently, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it shifts perspective.
So for everyone listening, maybe consider Ray's points on pre-incarnation choice and forgetting. How might your current challenges look through that lens? That lens of soul growth, aiming for love.
A great question to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Namaste. I am you and you are me.